Hello Rejects, Greg here.
Monette here.
We're gonna watch from Top Trending, a friend of the real Rejects, 10 actors who actually did it on screen.
Ooh.
This is all taken from pornos. So I'm only surprised I only have 10, but whatever.
Ooh, set in the mood.
The vast majority of films rely on body doubles and camera work to accomplish the illusion of actual sex acts between characters. However, there are a handful of movies that skip the smoke and mirrors entirely.
Hey.
These movies all contain real sex scenes between their actors. Some of them are extremely explicit, and others more subtle. The 2005 movie Lie With Me is particularly notable in part because of the two main stars. Eric Balfour and Lauren Lee Smith are fairly well known, particularly Balfour. The two engage in extremely graphic and also extremely real sex. Based on the novel by Tamara Berger, the film follows a man and a woman around the city of Toronto as they initiate an intense affair with each other. Lauren Lee Smith's character is portrayed as a sex addict, and is therefore the main subject for most of the adult material. Some of the scenes include Lee Smith's character having multiple masturbation sessions, one of which took place in a public park, Smith filleting Balfour, partaking in public sex, and even sodomy. The film's release was unsurprisingly met with mostly negative reviews and disdain. Now it resides with a fairly dismal rating of 38% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh boy.
A-list actor Chloe Sevigny...
Before we continue, it's just kind of sad when an actor goes all out like that. You know, like, I'm gonna really commit to this role, I'm gonna do all these really revealing sexual scenes, and then people don't like the movie.
38%.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
And I didn't really know those two actors. That one guy looked kind of familiar, but I can't really tell you what he's from.
I don't think either of them did.
Chloe Sevigny.
Mistake of agreeing to play the love interest in the movie The Brown Bunny, a mistake that would haunt her in her career for many years to come. On its release at the 2003 Cannes Film Festival, The Brown Bunny, an art house independent film about a lonely motorcycle driver on a cross-country tour, left audiences shocked, appalled, and disgusted, all because of a single 4-minute event which took place in the movie. Rarely has the controversy over a single scene eclipsed the whole movie as totally and as completely as the on-screen blowjob in The Brown Bunny did. Occurring late in the film, the scene in question had Chloe Sevigny performing unsimulated fellatio on Vincent Gallo's character, to the point of completion. To make matters more disturbing, Vincent Gallo, who played the lead role, also wrote, produced, and directed the film, as well as personally contacting Sevigny about playing his character's counterpart. Later, during a post-release interview, he stated that for months leading up to the making of the movie, he had obsessed with Chloe Sevigny, and had wrote her character specifically for her to play. He hinted that if she refused the role, he wouldn't have moved forward with the film, almost as if he had ulterior motives. Over 10 years later, Sevigny has been able to recover from the blow her acting career took from the controversy.
The blow!
No!
Oh, that's horrible.
That was a good pun, though.
That's crazy. Yeah, it was. I don't get how you get someone to agree to do that.
Some people will do anything for, like,
a role.
for a role.
But that's like, it's the stills they showed of that. I've never heard of that movie, but the stills they showed of it were like, you could see it and he finishes. That's crazy. 4 minutes.
The Brown Bunny.
She's in American Horror Story season 5.
Is she?
Yeah, she's one of the main characters.
Oh.
So she's doing fine.
Yeah, no one knows. I didn't know.
We're gonna bring it back up on the internet, though. We're gonna remind everyone.
Poor girl. Well, it was her choice.
And manipulative director.
True.
He really did have ulterior motives, as Top Trending says.
Years later, Sevigny has been able to recover from the blow her acting career took from the controversy. Director Lars von Trier has become quite well known for pushing the envelope in mainstream movies by choosing to unsimulate sex scenes. So pairing him with actor Shia LaBeouf is surely guaranteed to produce something controversial, especially considering actor Shia LaBeouf is also no stranger to pushing the envelope for the cameras. He had already risked it all by exposing himself in a music video for artist Sigur Rós, but he took himself a step further when he starred in Nymphomaniac alongside Stacey Martin. taking on possibly his most mature role yet. Shia LaBeouf has confirmed that in the flick, nothing was off limits, including the script's real sex scenes. The film Nymphomaniac follows the story of a young self-diagnosed nymphomaniac, played by Stacey Martin, as she recounts her staggering amount of erotic experiences to an older man who just found her beaten unconscious in an alleyway. Many of those erotic experiences recurringly featured Shia LaBeouf. Recently, however, Stacey Martin had stated in an interview that while the sex is real, LaBeouf and her never actually consummated their contracts. She alleges that any and all real acts were performed by pornography actors with their faces overlaid onto the porn stars, which directly contrasts claims previously made by Shia LaBeouf and Lars von Trier in multiple different interviews. Since Martin's reveal, the two have again stepped forward to reinstate that the fornication scene on screen was in fact nothing less than authentic, which begs the question, who's telling the truth?
What the hell is going on with that movie?
The truth.
It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Just so you know, for this movie, we had the actors have real sex. Actors comes out. No, they've had pornographic actors and they put faces on it. Then the actors come out and they're like, no, guys, we need to reassure you. This was a real sex scene. This is vital to your experience of the movie. I want you to know we really had sex. I believe Shia. Clearly, he's the most sane, level-headed one of them all.
Shia always tells the truth.
Shia always tells the truth.
Always.
Never loses it. Still worth watching.
I love him.
Still
I don't
cool.
care.
Still cool
I don't care.
To be like, whoa, Shia LaBeouf's having sex. It's crazy. He'd be a great lover. I think, you know, he did that scene with Sia. Then he did a real sex scene in Nymphomaniac. Now he needs to do a gay sex scene for real.
Ooh, we should hit up James Franco.
We should hit up James Franco.
Was Argentinian filmmaker Gaspar Noé's first film after a 5-year hiatus. There is a plot to love, but that's secondary to the sex. Gaspar Noé's love story is relentlessly graphic, shockingly explicit,
how many tongues are in there?
Filmed in ever so popular glorious 3D. You could call it porn if you like, but you can't deny that the acting and story are exponentially better. The erotic drama about a film school student named Murphy, played by Carl Glusman, and his ex-girlfriend Electra, who is captured by Aomi Muyak. The two's relationship comes to a tragic end when Murphy commits infidelity with a girl named Omi, played by Clara Kristen, that resulted in her getting pregnant. Half the film takes place in bed, with unblinking and unforgiving extended takes of Glusman, Muyak, and Kristen making love to each other. The director gets up close and personal in order to express the deeper mysteries of relationships, but the message was ultimately lost. The director faced a lot of criticism, namely because his previous films had received such high acclaim. People had high hopes that he would break boundaries and redefine acting in cinema with love. Yet somehow against all odds, having Carl Glusman's ejaculated semen 3D jump off the screen and toward the audience members didn't change the cinema industry as we know it. I guess love's just tricky that way. Unwittingly
Wow. There was a 3D movie out there like that. What the hell? What was that?
It came out of your face.
There's like no point for that. Well, I guess if you wanted to feel like you're actually there for the sex. Sounds like a scary situation. Have you ever been involved in like any kind of like 3-person scenario?
No.
Me neither. I know. Shocking, right? People see me all the time. They think, wow, he's probably been with at least 7 women at one time. Not me, though. Not me. I'm no Trump, I'll tell you that much. I don't even know if I could really do a scene like that. Like, could you even do a scene with, like, another girl and another guy, and you got, like, it's like simulating sex?
No, probably not.
Right?
Mm-mm. I like comedy.
Like a good PG-13 comedy.
Love's just tricky that way. Unwittingly taking method acting to a whole new level, the Twilight famed actor Robert Pattinson has recently opened up about explicit male-only sex scenes in the Spanish film
I need to break my image.
in which he plays the surrealist artist Salvador Dali. The film, directed by R. Pats, focuses on Dali's love affair with the esteemed poet Federico Garcia Lorca, played by Javier Beltran. Pattinson claimed that director R. Pats, who is known to be a stickler for perfection, absolutely refused to settle for anything that he didn't feel was authentic enough, which stirred up tensions between the two when filming the climax of the movie. The scene called for Pattinson's character to pleasure himself thoroughly until he too had climaxed. Arpats was continually dissatisfied with Pattinson's performance. With each take, he would demand another reshoot. After multiple reshoots, Pattinson finally caved and begrudgingly agreed to take the final step to help capture a truly authentic experience. Albeit embarrassed, Pattinson fully committed to doing a take of him actually masturbating on camera. Just to add insult...
Car got full, guys. Let's run it back.
Just to add insult to an injured bride, the A-list celeb went on to add, "We were all hanging out by the pool trying to loosen up. I was nervously clinging to the edge, and before I could turn around, Javier Beltran was already naked. He happily swam toward me," Rob continued about the gay sex scene. "And I didn't have a clue how to react. I felt like Mr. Bean." No doubt that filming sex scenes has to be awkward for movie stars, but it's unlikely that a majority of them have had to do the dirty deed in front of the full camera crew and a nude grown adult. Pattinson said that the whole ordeal was so traumatizing he had promised himself he'd quit acting if the movie was complete. However, he didn't stay true to his promise, as a few days later he was offered what ultimately proved to be his career-making role as Edward Cullen in the Twilight series. If you happen to be looking for a movie that is so discomforting, it'll...
Did that movie ever get made?
Yeah, it came out. Came out after Twilight.
Oh.
Just two great movies in a row. Well, they sound like pretty abusive situations.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
I'm not gay, though. I feel like if I was doing a role, it would just feel like a role and I'd do it.
Well, not saying that being gay is terrible. I mean, doing
That's
something...
exactly what I heard.
No, doing something that you're uncomfortable with, but like being forced to do it on camera.
Especially for a guy to have to like work up an erection. You know how weird that must feel like? I'm uncomfortable getting an erection by myself.
Me too, man.
No, this girl especially.
I'm lucky though, mine just comes like that.
Yeah, you're skilled. No, I get pressure. And I feel nervous. We're moving on now. The whole image of you and like really kind of weirded me out.
So.
Goosebumps. Then look no further. The movie Dogtooth is the film for you.
Whoa.
Directed by Giorgio Lanthimos, this film features some brief but very real adult encounters.
Okay.
The film delves into the taboo topic of incest, as it tells the story of a girl's dysfunctional upbringing that is a direct result of her father's forced reclusion. The children are forced to stay on their family's property, being shielded from the outside world and all the bad influences it offers, as the father describes it. The critically acclaimed film circles around the perverse storyline of the three teenage siblings, as their dysfunctional lifestyle spirals them into isolated madness. Being played by Angeliki Papulia, Christos Pasades, and Mary Sun, the unsimulated scenes cut to the core, and truly display the type of unhealthy mindsets that can develop from isolation and lack of control over one's body and life. Ranging from the two girls, Angeliki Papulia and Mary Sun, using oral sex as a bartering system for items from the outside world, to the parents forcing the brother Christos Pasades to choose which sibling he prefers as a sexual partner. The film hits the nail on the head with making you feel uneasy.
Ooh.
Which you will...
Incest.
That's so awkward. That makes me uncomfortable.
Incest?
Yeah.
Why? Because you have a brother?
Well, sure.
Let's get more specific. Because you have an attractive brother?
Why did that come to your mind?
Well, I could see it being tempting is all.
No!
I'm trying to relate. I'm trying to understand. I'm not trying to... I'm trying to be a good person right now, Monette. Trying to make you feel comfortable. Sorry. Hey man, back then, like hundreds of years ago, people boned their sisters and brothers all the time. I don't. I have a brother and sister. We're done. We're moving on.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually doing the deed on camera if it turned out that it was so atrocious to watch that it ended up on Nerve's list of the 50 worst sex scenes of all time? Well, for Kieran O'Brien and Margot Stilley, they saw no shame in openly admitting to doing the deed on the set of the 2004 movie 9 Songs. The feature film is about a relationship between a college student named Lisa, played by O'Brien, and a British scientist named Matt, played by Stilley, who for the following months after meeting at a rock concert have intense sexual encounters. The movie also includes real concert footage of the Dandy Warhols, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, Franz Ferdinand, and many others.
Franz Ferdinand!
Party 9 Songs is the most sexually explicit mainstream movie ever released. And
really?
Considering there are multiple unsimulated sex acts between the two leads, it isn't all that surprising. Unfortunately, most critics uniformly disliked it, with audiences' opinions following suit. Most considered the film pretentious and boring.
You know what I noticed about most of these films?
It's a porn with a good story.
No, that's the problem. They're a porn with a bad story, with a lot of intentions to make a good movie.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
You know, like a lot of these movies turn out like, they're alright, or these are bad, but there's very explicit sex scenes.
Yeah, I
you know?
should say a better story than in porn.
Well, it depends what porno you're watching. I think anything with... Actually, I can't think of any porn star names right now.
The Devil Wears Nada.
Is that a real thing?
Cleavage Field.
He's real?
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah. When I was looking at my DirecTV list, they came up. There's another one. Oh, what was it?
You really want to tell the world you watch porn?
I didn't watch it. It was on the list.
On your specific QU list? What's coming up next? The Monette
No.
playlist?
Known nowadays for playing the role of the antagonist President Snow in The Hunger Games, Donald Sutherland has had the good fortune to play many iconic characters throughout his long acting career.
Yes, he
including
has.
playing Hawkeye in MASH, John Bridger in The Italian Job, and of course John Baxter in the 1973 movie Don't Look Now. For many years, rumors had spread that Sutherland and female lead Julie Christie were actually intimate during the shooting of Don't Look Now. For an unknown reason, any and all attempts to get a direct answer from anyone involved on the movie are refused. It wasn't until 38 years later in 2011 when news editor Brian Clark finally revealed the truth and confirmed what everyone had already suspected.
Oh.
Starring aging acting icon...
Hey, Donald Sutherland? It's Kiefer Sutherland's dad.
Really?
Yeah, Donald Sutherland in a sex scene? You got my money. I'm talking now, current day, post-Hunger Games, Donald Sutherland.
Oh.
If they're willing to do a sex scene with a man that old, you gotta pay to watch it.
This video's getting weird.
It's not weird. I'm just talking about, like, dude, that guy, he clearly has, I don't want to say he has courage, you know? You just gotta pay that respect and be like, fuck, I'll watch your movie then. Not out of like a sexual thing, but as a way to go, man. It's hard being 97 years old and doing a sex scene. You break your hip.
I don't want to picture it.
Well, you are now. A Last Tango in Paris.
Ooh.
Marlon Brando, then aged 48 and exuding aggressive masculinity, and Maria Schneider, an unknown
That's pretty
19-year-old
disturbing.
French actor. Last Tango in Paris, released in 1972, was undoubtedly one of the most influential and controversial films ever created in the last century. Featuring one of the most infamous movie sex scenes ever filmed, the movie upon release was denounced for being too obscene and found itself being steadily banned in a growing handful of countries, including many areas of Britain. The film, a tale of lust between an older man and younger woman who meet for anonymous and increasingly racy sexual encounters, gained unexpected worldwide attention due to the controversy, which for Maria Schneider proved to be too much for her to handle, causing her to embark on a path of self-destruction with fraught romantic entanglements, suicide attempts, and a lapse into drug addiction,
Wow.
eventually falling back into obscurity. However, 35 years later, after the passing of Marlon Brando, she returned to finally put a rest to the question everyone had been asking: were the adult scenes real or faked? She admitted that the scenes were authentic, but added that she believes she and Brando were heavily manipulated by the director Bernardo Bertolucci into performing
Yeah.
the act. Sadly, Schneider later stated in the same interview, "I felt humiliated, and to be honest, I felt a little raped, both by Marlon and by Bertolucci. After the scene, Marlon didn't console me or apologize. Thankfully, there was just one take." Before playing any...
Oh, that's horrible.
That's terrible.
Marlon Brando.
I think he was a pretty sexual guy.
I
I read one of his books, and that's like all he talked about.
I mean, he had a crazy life, man. Crazy upbringing. Didn't he have like 2 kids that died too?
Did he?
I think
don't
he had
know.
like 1 kid who killed himself.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like, and another kid who went to jail. Like, he wasn't the healthiest guy. Great actor. But damn, I feel like on a movie now that probably wouldn't happen. But I feel like for the film back then, it was probably much easier to like manipulate an actress into doing stuff.
I hope that does not happen. I hope people stand up for themselves and do not put up with that shit.
You're worried. I'm worried a woman might do it to me. You seen this? You
It could
seen
happen.
this?
Just be nice, people.
Just, ladies, be nice to me.
Everyone.
I only get erections when I'm terrified. Sorry.
Well, good. Good.
I'm pressured into it. Real fast. We're about to talk about this actor, Peter Sarsgaard. If there's any actor I've ever just commonly have said over the years, who I just can't stand. It's this sleepy-eyed motherfucker. He is always so sleepy, has like no emotion ever. I like him in this movie though, Jarhead, but other than that, I just don't really like this actor, man. He really gets on my nerves.
Breakout roles such as Alan Troy in Jarhead and Hector Hammond in Green Lantern, Peter Sarsgaard played a lead role in The Center of the World alongside Molly Parker, most notable for her portrayal of minor characters in The Road and House of Cards. Publicly released in 2001, the film's story revolves around the life of a depressed computer whiz on the verge of becoming a dot-com millionaire, who offers a lap dancer at a club $10,000 to spend 3 nights with him in Vegas. She accepts on the conditions of 4 hours max per night of erotic play, and no intercourse.
Camera cut again, sorry, last time.
The movie became most infamously known for a scene in which Molly Parker inserts a lollipop into herself. And no, it did not end up in her mouth. In addition to the lollipop scene, Parker performs many suggestive acts on Peter Sarsgaard, including but not limited to coitus. With
what
the
is
film
coitus?
lacking any real story and primarily being filled with adult content, critics blasted the film, giving awful ratings and describing the movie as nothing more than a high-budget pornography. Luckily, Peter Sarsgaard was able to bounce back just in time to get a major role in the equally as disliked movie, The Green Lantern.
Equally disliked. Oh, God.
Alright guys, subscribe to Top Trending. Don't watch any Peter Sarsgaard movies. What's coitus mean?
Sexual
intercourse.
I've never heard that before in my life, but I'm gonna start using it.
I'm gonna start using it too. Just
Hey,
a casual
you wanna do
conversation.
some coitus?
Yeah, that's how you get guys, right? You wanna do some coitus with me, honey?
Coitus.
I'm gonna bring around people who I know are gonna be too afraid to just act like they don't know what they're just gonna act like they know what the word is.
Oh yeah, I did that last week.
Yeah, no, coitus. Yeah. You know? I go coitusing all the time.
Been there, done that.
I was coitusing in France the other day.
Did it at the market last night.
Did coitus? You coitus at the market?
I coitus. Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't coitus at the market, right? My kids coitus at the market. Wow, we got through it all, Monette.
We made it.
We got through it all. Wow, those are some crazy stuff. So here's what we learned. If a director on a low-budget film is pressuring you into doing sex scenes, coitus scenes, real, non-simulation coitus scenes, you probably shouldn't do it because it's probably going to be a shit movie. Or you're going to be that one woman from Last Tango in Paris who's going to not look great down the road because she's going to be miserable for the next 30 years, waiting for the star and the director to die so she can finally talk about it.
Have the strength to respect yourself.
Exactly.
And not risk it on one film because it ain't worth it.
Yeah, you gotta be tough. You gotta be tough like a black girl. Did you see any black girls in this video?
What?
I'm saying white women are weak. Black girls, that's where it's at. You wouldn't see a black girl get in a position like this in a film. Don't yawn. Don't yawn.
I didn't have coffee today.
I'm taking a stand for black women. Trying to show their empowerment, you know? I don't think you get in a situation like this. Monette would probably just think it's a joke.
They'll probably laugh and be like, haha, good one.
Good one. Oh, you're serious? I'm out of here. Bye. You guys are crazy.
You want to put that lollipop away?
You want to put that lollipop away?
No.
Subscribe to Top Trending. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Monette Moio.
That's me.
Is on Sweet Eats. YouTube channel. Her host, co-host, Jesse Lucatordo.
Yes, see.
They cook, bake healthy foods in a delicious way. You will enjoy their videos. I've been in a couple videos. I opt to be in them weekly. I've said they're not necessary. Just put me in it. I don't know why they just won't let me take over the channel.
You have to politely harass.
I mean, I don't know how to bake, but I can react to baking videos.
True.
That's what Sweet Eat channels would be if I was in charge.
Yeah.
Me reacting to the older videos of Sweet Eats as I take over the channel.